Hello, Nervestar and their debut album White Hot just came out a few days ago, and it's one of the most crushingly heavy albums that you're ever likely to hear. It's marvelous, marvelous stuff. Now, in the booklet notes, it states that they play a blend of hard rock, heavy metal, new wave of British heavy metal, and some punk, with the aim of the album being unrelenting riffs, big drums, thumping bass, and loud guitars all over the place. Well, let me tell you, in no uncertain terms, the album fully meets that description and more on top of it. I bought it on spec after hearing about the new wave of British heavy metal influences, and also the other reason is because that the very, very great Tony Borg guests on the cover of Richard III, which is Nervestar's version of the track from the Tredegar album, the band that Tony formed after leaving Budgie. Tony is one of my favourite guitarists, and he's one that can crank out a riff better than more than most and better than most, I think, especially during the Budgie years. For example, if you're not already familiar with tracks like In the Grip of a Tie Fitter's Hand, Sky High Percentage, Bread Fan, etc., etc., etc. The man's a genius in my opinion. And, well, back to the album. White Hot, it grabs from the first riff, the very first riff, and it doesn't let up until the final riff has dissipated. Just from start to finish, it's just banging stuff. Hell on Wheels starts with 7.5 minute chunk of relentless power and changing pace. The riffs and solos are relentless, cutting, ripping, chugging and slashing away, rip-snorting solos everywhere. Those aforementioned big drums and thumping bass making for a huge wall of sound, and we've got monster vocals too. It's a wild ride from the off. Black Ice, Say It to My Face, and Winner Take It All, each similarly blistering. We've got a brief instrumental interlude of Cool, Calm and Collected, which gives only a slight breather. And then we've got the magnificent Oral Assault, which continues with the 3-minute spitting hard hitters of Blackjack and Hard Raid Falling. They're both slamming big time. Space Ritual is next, and it's magnificent. One of the most cutting riffs anywhere in the first section, which comes in as well as a little bit trippy, a little bit hypnotic, sort of heavy metal oak wind. Then it breaks into a speedy section of breakneck pace, solos from all angles, and the constant pounding drums and bass before it calms down just a little bit in the end section. What a slab of music that is. The following songs are all done deal bangers, and then comes that cover of Tredegar's Richard III with Tony Borg on guitar. Much heavier than the original, which is heavy enough on its own. Tony and the two White Hot guitarists are just blazing away furiously. It's magnificent. I think it was, well, I know it was, the then sounds journalist Jeff Barton, back around 1980, who said about Diamond Head back then that they had more good riffs in the average single song than there are in the first 4 Black Sabbath albums. Well, with White Hot, Nervestar have a debut album which, in my opinion, has more riffs in any one song on White Hot than Black Sabbath had in any one album. It's that good. It really is tremendous stuff. Most seriously recommended. I'll put a link to it on Amazon, other outlets available, of course. That will be in the link in the description below, so please do check it out. Please do subscribe to the channel before you go if you wouldn't mind doing that for me, because that would be a big help. And as always, until next time, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and take care.